Greetings from the Himalayas once again. I am Om Bhairavi. I would like to speak today of how the mystical path, the spiritual path, this great adventure of a pilgrimage, how it is an abstraction and how difficult it is sometimes to traverse this in this matrix-ridden world. This is not a journey for the faint-hearted. We have to understand that this is a hero's journey. There are obstacles. We are in a war zone, if I may say, of lies, of appearances, of deception, of a lot of negative things, and yet, like a moth to the flame, we are drawn to this beauty of the spiritual path, the way of the spirit. There is no negotiating around it. We have embarked upon it despite ourselves. It is not something we may have chosen because the comfort factor is not necessarily always cushy. It is not something that is what comes under free will. It is very much a thy will be done situation. Thy is not necessarily myself or even the comfort of what I may enjoy otherwise, but that thy will has already come into its own. Therefore, it is decided. It is decided despite myself, despite yourself. Whosoever finds himself in this predicament of a beautiful and brutal adventure, it is not a personal free will situation. It is just the way it is. And therefore, when we are faced by these various human interactive deceptions, lies, self-lies, delusions, illusions, miseries and sorrows and whatever have you, because it's all around us. Unfortunately, and with these times, what is really all around us is mostly this. The civilizational lie, the societal lie, has expanded into every little corner of human existence. And it has become a norm in our society to speak in a language which belies the truth, to speak in a language which does not express the real thing that wants to express itself. And that is because we have become so estranged from the real thing, which may seek even to express itself through us, using us, if I may use the word using, which is an unkind word, but using us as an agency, as its own agency of expression, of creativity, of beauty and aesthetic. We have lost touch with that, and we have conformed to something which is not very spiritual, which is actually the antithesis of that. And owing to that diversion from the real, diversion from the truth, a whole mass of humanity, the larger mass, the much, much larger mass, has become conformed to something which is not true. And even the pundits of truth, and even the scepter holders of truth, and even those with crowns and sacred positions, are speaking this language despite the fact that they are describing the aspect of truth. So how can we describe truth in the language of lie? That is the question. And anyone who wishes to be on this spiritual path, anyone who wishes to reach, it's not a destination, but it is. It's not a destination, yet it is. You see, the spiritual path is paradoxical. It is paradoxical, but it is not deceitful. And we need to be able to read its paradox. So though it's not a destination, yet it is. Because it is an arrival. It is crossing the threshold of something common into something extraordinary. And it once crossed that threshold becomes the first milestone of the journey. And it is a journey of no return, because that exit point then disappears. The gateways of the matrix have suddenly disappeared, have been neutralized by something special and higher. And so when we belong to something special and higher, we feel fear differently, we feel pain differently, we feel discomfort differently. And we become paradoxical creatures ourselves. Our love appears to be like anger. Our compassion appears to be brutal. Our brutality is extremely kind. And so we become greater misfits in this society, which has drawn everything in a classified way. It's bracketed everything. It's a society of great organization and a society of divided expertise. The philosopher is only a philosopher. The doctor is only a doctor. And even within doctors, there are specialists in all kinds of body parts and ailments. And all of that. The Buddhist is a Buddhist. The Hindu is a Hindu. The Christian, Jew, Muslim. Everybody is classified and bracketed and divided. And here we are speaking of infinity, of a colossal whole. That's the journey. And we need to understand that. We need to be able to absorb this truth, where we find ourselves swimming in infinity. It's a great joy, and not for the faint-hearted, if I may say. So brace yourselves if you are on this journey, and realize that you have to be very, very powerful, and that power of the gods, if I may say, is with those who have dared to embark, dared to follow thy will be done. That's a daring. Thank you very much for listening, and all the very best on your path. May you be blessed, and may the force be with you.